Today, Mario Draghi and his ECB board substantially confirms the stance of the European monetary policy, i.e. an expansionary one. Why this decision is important? It is important because a few days ago there were the new figure of the European inflation, and the figure on Germany was relatively high. But notwithstanding so, the central bank, the European Central Bank, decided to confirm its decision. It's important to stress that in general we can have three different positions when a central bank are taking a monetary policy choice. Essentially, that could be the doves that can decide to have an active expansionary monetary policy. On the other sides, we can have the hawks, people that wish to have an active restrictive monetary policy. And in the middle, there could be the so-called pigeon, the central banking that prefer to hold, that in other way they prefer the status quo. Why this decision could be the optimal one? Essentially for three reasons. First of all, there are no relevant news, and it is the case here in Europe because it's important to highlight that just a figure on Germany is not relevant for the ECB central bank, because for the ECB central bank is important the European situation in terms of inflation, and it's important to note a change in a path rather than a change in a single figure. Secondly, it could be optimal to hold, to prefer the status quo if there are some governance problems inside the council. And we know from the minutes that in December, the decision that the European Central Bank took were not unanimous decision. So in this occasion, again, it's better to hold. Finally, there could be also behavioral explanation in the optimality to hold, to prefer the status quo. When there are asymmetric loss and gain in taking other decision. And we know that now there is a lot of uncertainty in terms of future macroeconomic performances in Europe and in general in the world economy. So at the end of the day, all the three reasons that can trigger towards a status quo decision today are active in Europe. So there is no surprise that the European Central Bank decide to confirm its expansionary monetary policy stance.